guys, welcome back to my YouTube. As you can tell by the title, this is actually about my father being deported. I hate talking about this, but I intend on being as transparent as possible, so I intend on keeping my promise. First, before we get started, you guys could comment, like, and subscribe below. Don't forget to hit that bell button for more great videos. And don't forget to head over to my podcast, The Deja View, available on Anchor, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Breaker, and so many more other platforms. I will attach the link below. If you can't find the link, it's actually in a plethora of my other videos. So don't forget to go ahead on over and listen to those. So, back to what you guys came for. The tea. Okay, so I'm not gonna cry, guys. I'm not gonna cry. But I was about 4 years old. I'm now 23 years old, and I don't really like talking about this, but my father was actually a drug lord, you could say. He was an entrepreneur. Okay, I'm gonna put that out there because he had a plethora of ways to make money, but he just chose, drugs for some reason. But that's neither here nor there. I don't judge. But it did affect my family. Like, even still to this day, he's still in Jamaica. But yeah, so my mom and my father met when my mom was about 22 years old. My father was in his late 30s. And my mom was pursuing nursing school at the time. And my father, it's just a Jamaican, I mean, like, when we see something that we want, we go after it. That's just how we are. So he did just that, and it worked. Him and my mother got together and started dating. However, they had their issues as well as every other relationship. And then they had me. And I was actually premature, guys. I was prematurely born. But that's the story for another time. But yeah, so my mother knew of my father's, business deals and stuff like that, things that he was getting into. But we always felt safe, and, we never thought that his lifestyle, which was so naive, but we never thought his lifestyle would really have any bearings on us as far as, like, police and stuff is concerned or anything like that. But it did. So, the saying is definitely true. Everything that glitters isn't gold. So, you guys never forget that. So, yeah. So, they actually, the feds came in our home. We were staying in Coral Springs, Florida. And the feds came and took my dad. So, he did Fed time, and he was deported not once, but twice to Jamaica. And the first time he was deported, it was successful, but then he came back through California. And in doing so, birds of a feather flock together. His friend was also, a criminal. But when the feds invaded that home, they did fingerprints on everybody and realized that my father was actually already deported. And going before the judge, my father said, well, you guys didn't tell me how long I was supposed to be deported for. So the judge told my father, well, you can never come back to America. Do you get that? Do you understand that? And he got it that time. But it sucks that he had to get deported twice. But he did. And I still to this day don't really know how I feel about the entire situation. You know, like I said before, I don't judge my father and any decisions that he made, and I'm pretty sure that every decision that he made, you know, he had us in mind first. But when you do things that's not legal, you know, it catches up with you, you know, so you have to be really, really, really careful. And I've been to Jamaica a few times to see my dad. Not as many as I would like, especially now this year. I was planning a trip that has been delayed due to the COVID. But hopefully when all that clears up, you know, I'll be able to go and see my father and my family in Jamaica. But yeah, guys, he was deported, and I went to see him in the feds once, and I only went once because I was really, really young, and my mom was really, really young, and she was at that time a single mother of 3, and she had my sister and I from my father and my brother from a previous relationship. So she was then a 25-year-old single mother, and I totally understand everything that she did, and you know, the reason why she didn't want us to go back and forth to the feds to go and see my dad. Like, she just didn't want that, you know, lifestyle for us, you know, especially after the first time. The first time that we went to visit my dad, I had an incident. So embarrassing. But I had an incident. I was about 6, maybe 7 years old. And 6, I would say. I'm probably about 6 years old. And I peed on myself. Guys, I peed on myself. Not because of I knew I was in a jail, and to be honest with you, it didn't even look like a jail to me at all. Like, I didn't even know we were at a prison, or you know, it didn't look like it at all. But I think it was the tiny hallways and just, I don't know. I really don't know what it was, but I did pee on myself. And without knowing that I was there to see my father, when the doors opened, it just looked like a huge adult playground. Like, I didn't see any bars or anything. When the doors opened, I just seen a lot of people. Most of them had the same thing on. Those that were incarcerated had the same thing on. I'm speaking on the child mind, like what I saw at that moment and what I viewed it as. It looked like a huge playground. It had vending machines and people just walking around, you know, with their families and stuff, you know. Little to my knowledge, that really wasn't the prison part. But I didn't know as a little girl. I did not know, like, where I was. I just saw my dad in this whole room, and I was just like, oh, this where you been this whole time. Like, you just been in school, seriously. So, I was totally embarrassed when my dad picked me up and I smelled like urine. I was like, this is so humiliating. I haven't seen him in years, and his first time seeing me, I smell like pee. Great. Like, it was so embarrassing. But what really affected me from that specific viewing of my dad when I went to go see him was that he was walking me, well, us actually, towards the desk because we were getting ready to leave, which I didn't know. But he was holding my hand the whole time, and as we approached the desk, he let my hand go and then went to the left and we went to the right. And that confused me. Like, I was like, where are you going? Like, I thought we came to pick you up. Like, I didn't know, like, what? Like, what is... And then when I realized that he wasn't coming with us, I threw the hugest tantrum in the history of tantrums. Like, it was not pretty. Like, my mom could not calm me down. The lady at the desk couldn't calm me down. Like, and my father, he just like walked away. He just kind of like, you know, because it's not that he could do anything about it, but, and I know it hurted him more than it hurted me, you know, because he actually knew what was going on and I didn't, you know. And as a little girl, that affected me. And not only did it affect me, but affected my siblings and definitely my mom. So, me now being her age, I'm actually 22, I can see how she, or why she did the things that she did, and not allowing us to go back and forth, you know, to the jail, you know, to going back and forth see my dad and stuff. Like, who wants their child to come home and ask a gazillion questions like, when is my dad coming home? You know, like, is that a jail? You know, why couldn't he come back with us? Why? Like, as children, we have so many questions, and I could see why my mom didn't want that for us. You know, because now, if I don't have any children yet, but when I do have children, I won't want that for them, you know? So, I definitely understand my mom's decisions, and I definitely respect her wishes. But when I first seen my dad, after that, I was about 13 years old. And that was my first time going to Jamaica, and to be honest with you guys, I didn't really know what to expect. I just wished that I was a little more prepared, because I think I was expecting the guy from that day when I was 6. You know, I was expecting someone else, without realizing that he was getting older as well, and he was growing up, and he was maturing, and he was doing this and doing that. But this is gonna sound so bad, but it's just the way I felt at 13, guys. When I first hugged my father in the airport, I felt nothing. I felt absolutely nothing. I felt nothing. And it hurt me because I think all of these years I've been like hoping that, you know, when I see my dad again, that's going to be the answer to everything. Like, that's the reason that life is the way it is, because my dad is in Jamaica. I just thought like him being across seas was the reason for a lot of the messed up things that's been happening in my life and to me. So I just thought like when I see him, it's just gonna fix everything, and it didn't. If anything, it caused me a little more confusion, because now I'm like, is it me? Like, you know, why can't I connect with him? You know, why can't we get to the point where we now understand each other? Like, I'm no longer that 6-year-old little girl. I'm 23 now, and I don't want a little, you know, scooter no more for Christmas, you know. I'm trying to save up for a house. You know, it is the mentality of the two females that when he left, you know, it's just, it's a big difference. And I was definitely naive to think that he didn't get older as well. So had I had a little more insight about what was going on, I think I would have reacted a little differently. But my next time when I went over there, I was 16, and it was a little bit better. However, we still, even still to this day, we kind of like, I don't have daddy issues, but I do have issues with, I'm just in a place where I'm trying to reintroduce myself to my dad. You know, like, I'm just not the same person. You know, I'm just not the same person. And it's going to be hard for him to get to know me if he still think I'm the little girl that he left. You know, I don't even think the same. You know, I don't even think the same like I did last year. So I know I don't think the same as I did when I was 6. Come on, I have bills. So I know I don't think the same. So oh, please do not talk about my nail. I'm getting it fixed today. But you guys know how you're a hardworking female, and you know you just have to make things do what it do. You know. So as long as my bills is paid, I can get this nail fixed any day. Trust. Period. But that's that on that. But as far as back to my dad, I love my dad. I do. I love my dad. I can never take that from him. He's my dad, and I love him, and I respect him, and I honor him, and like I said, I hold no judgment. But I do pray that my husband, whenever I meet him, he will have a way more better impact and relationship with our children, and especially with the female children. With his daughters, I expect him to have a way better relationship and an open line of communication than my father had and have with me. That's basically what I'm saying. That's where I'm coming from. And I know there's a plethora of people out there that understands me and know that I mean no malice about anything that I'm saying. This is my father at the end of the day, and I love him with my entire heart. I love both of my parents with my entire heart. But this video is mainly about my father, so I'm going to stay on topic. So, you know, to those of you who, you know, have experienced the same thing I've experienced with a parent or a loved one being deported, my advice to you is to try your best. You know, I know that they may be a country away, but try your best to keep a line of communication with them. Like, you know, especially with the COVID and everything, you know, you never really know what they're going through. Like, it's crazy, guys. It's crazy. And I'm hearing that it's not going to get any better. So that's what the world says. I'm a woman of faith, so I believe that God has his last say so, and what he says goes. So that's what I'm living by. So yeah, so that's the story about my dad being deported and just how I've been coping with it and just still like dealing with it because he's deported. He can't come back to America. So it's not something that I could get over because he's still there. So it's like something that I have to just work on. You know, I have to save up and I have to make sure that I can get over there and see them as much as possible. So that's that on that. Please, if you guys have some stories about family members being deported or loved ones, please share your stories below. I love to hear them, and hopefully we can come to a mutual understanding of how to deal with this, on how to still be active in our family members' lives with them being so far away from us. Keep in contact, staying prayed up, you know, and just making the best out of it, you know. And then who doesn't love to travel? So look at it as a good thing, you know. When you're fed up with the things that's going on here, you can always go over and see them. So, I mean, there is pros about it. So, and it's Jamaica. I mean, like, come on. Like, who doesn't want to see Jamaica? So, yeah. I mean, I let no clock on mine if I come take me that Jamaican blood, right? So I'm gonna do the best that I could do to make sure that my dad knows that I love him and my family in Jamaica knows I love them. And yeah. So thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe below. And if you have any more topics that you'd like me to speak on, feel free. I want this plateau to be an open canvas for not just me, but my viewers as well. So I love you guys, and remember, those of you that are suffering with anxiety, PTSD, depression, and a series of other serious mental health conditions, I want you guys to remember that you are not alone. I understand. I love you. Jesus loves you even more. And stay strong. We got each other. And don't hesitate to reach out and form, allies with people who have been through what you've been through, made it out. And also don't forget to reach back and pull others up with you. Find others to encourage. And let's just, optimism should be the new thing, especially nowadays. There's so much negativity, so we should just try to be as optimistic as possible. And it's gonna work out. Everything's gonna work out, So till next time, it's your girl Deja Vu, and I love you guys. And make sure that you stay safe. Make sure you stay prayed up, and call somebody today and just tell them you love them. Even if it's a family member across seas, if it's someone right next to you, tell them that you love them and mean it. Mean it, because you never know when it's gonna be your last time seeing that person. All right, mwah. Till next time.